Hello guys, it's the Faceless Beanie and welcome to my weapon review and build guide for the Tigris Prime, widely regarded as one of the very best weapons in the game. I'll be showing you a build most players will be able to use, given you have achieved Mastery Rank 13. No ribbons as usual to make it as accessible as possible to all players, so without further ado, let's get right into it. The Tigris Prime is a double-barrel shotgun with the highest base damage of any non-archering weapon in the game. It has a unique firing mechanism in that when you hold the fire button, one shell is fired followed by another upon releasing the fire button. This is the preferred method of firing against single targets. A quick tap will result in both shells being fired in rapid succession, and this is particularly useful against groups of enemies. This weapon primarily deals slash damage and is incredibly effective against highly shielded enemies with high health. Damage fall off is not particularly significant either due to the accuracy of this shotgun. So before we get into the build, let's talk about the good and the bad of the Tigris Prime. So first up, the good. The Tigris Prime has very high slash damage, allowing it to take down highly shielded enemies with high health very quickly. It also has the highest base damage of any non-archering weapon in the game, which is exactly as great as it sounds. It also features an incredibly high status chance. A 100% status chance per pellet is achievable with the build I'll show you. And finally, it has fantastic accuracy for a shotgun and is pretty easy to handle. As for its disadvantages, the Mastery Rank requirement of Mastery Rank 13 may put it out of reach of newer players. It has a pretty low critical chance, so you'll want to build this for raw damage and status instead. It also tends to struggle slightly against big groups of enemies as it lacks innate punch through. And finally, this weapon's going to require constant reloading in battle due to its tiny magazine capacity of just 2 pellets. So now for the build. It's a simple one Forma build with a Madurai polarity. Alright, let's start with the more obvious ones. Primed Point Blank or Point Blank, if you don't have the primed version, is an automatic addition to any shotgun build. It's especially relevant here since this build focuses on raw damage output. Hell's Chamber, with that multi-shot boost, ensures more pellets are fired at once, giving you higher overall damage as well as a serious boost in status chance and damage. So now let's move on to Seeking Fury. The lack of punch through on the Tigris Prime makes its raw power a little underwhelming when faced with large groups of enemies. Seeking Fury solves exactly that problem, and it also helps improve the reload speed of the Tigris Prime, which is really important as you'll be reloading all the time. And my last pick before the status mods, Sweeping Serration. The Tigris Prime already does incredibly high slash damage, and Sweeping Serration is here to further boost that aspect of the weapon. Of course, some of you may not have this mod, and in that case, Vigilante Armaments is more than good enough of a replacement. All that loss in slash damage is going to be recuperated with the boost in status damage due to that multi-shot increase. Alright, moving on to the status mods. The 4 of them are Scattering Inferno, Shell Shock, Toxic Barrage, and Frigid Blast, which provide 60% status chance and 60% heat, electricity, toxin, and cold damage respectively. When combined, these 4 mods provide you with 100% status chance, which means each pellet fired will deal status damage. Now, it's important to take note of the positioning of the mods. The mods are arranged from left to right, and the preferred status combination would be radiation and viral damage. This means Scattering Inferno and Shell Shock need to be adjacent to each other for the radiation damage, and the same goes for Toxic Barrage and Frigid Blast for viral damage. Swapping the position of the mods will change the status combinations. So with that, let's test the build out. you'll see that the Tigris Prime destroys everything in its way easily. Even a simple one Forma build is endgame worthy. And that's about it. I do hope you enjoyed this weapon review and build guide for the Tigris Prime. If you have any other builds you prefer instead of this one, please share them. I always try to share the builds which are most accessible to most players. So with that, I do hope this helped you out. This is the Faceless Beanie, signing out.